and he always would. He hesitated before he crossed the threshold, but I'd given him permission, and I moved aside so he could step past me into the living room, filled with old, comfortable furniture and neat as a pin. "Thank you," he said in his cold, smooth voice, a voice that still gave me a twinge of sheer lust. Many things had gone wrong between us, but they hadn't started in bed. "I wanted to talk to you before I left." "Where are you going?" I tried to sound as calm as he. "To Peru, the Queen's orders." "Still working on your, database?" I knew almost nothing about computers, but Bill had studied hard to make himself computer literate. "Yes, I've got a little more research to do. A very old vampire in Lima has a great fund of knowledge about those of our race on his continent, and I have an appointment to confer with him. I'll do some sightseeing while I'm down there." I fought the urge to offer Bill a bottle of synthetic blood, which would have been the hospitable thing to do. "Have a seat," I said curtly, and nodded at the sofa. I sat on the edge of the old recliner, catty-cornered to it. Then a silence fell, a silence that made me even more conscious of how unhappy I was. "How's Bubba?" I asked finally. "He's in New Orleans right now," Bill said. "The Queen likes to keep him around from time to time, and he was so visible here over the last month that it seemed like a good idea to take him elsewhere. He'll be back soon." "You'd recognize Bubba if you saw him. Everyone knows his face." But he hadn't been brought over too successfully. Probably the morgue attendant, who happened to be a vampire, should have ignored the tiny spark of life. But since he was a great fan, he hadn't been able to resist the attempt, and now the entire southern vampire community shuffled Bubba around and tried to keep him from public view. Another silence fell. I'd planned on taking off my shoes and uniform, putting on a cuddly robe, and watching television with a freshetta pizza by my side. It was a humble plan, but it was my own. Instead, here I was, suffering. "If you have something to say, you better go on and say it," I told him. He nodded, almost to himself. "I have to explain," he said. His white hands arranged themselves in his lap. "Lorena and I flinched involuntarily. I never wanted to hear that name again. He'd dumped me for Lorena." "I have to tell you," he said, almost angrily. He'd seen me twitch. "Give me this chance." After a second, I waved a hand to tell him to continue. "The reason I went to Jackson when she called me is that I couldn't help myself," he said. My eyebrows flew up. I'd heard that before. It means I have no self-control, or it seemed worth it at the time, and I wasn't thinking north of my belt. "We were lovers long ago. As Eric says he told you, vampire liaisons don't tend to last long, though they're very intense while they are ongoing. However, what Eric did not tell you was that Lorena was the vampire who brought me over." "To the dark side?" I asked, and then I bit my lip. This was no subject for levity. "Yes," Bill agreed seriously. "And we were together after that, as lovers, which is not always the case." "But you had broken up." "Yes, about 80 years ago. We came to the point where we couldn't tolerate each other any longer. I hadn't seen Lorena since, though I'd heard of her doings, of course." "Oh, sure," I said expressionlessly. "But I had to obey her summons. This is absolutely imperative. When your maker calls, you must respond." His voice was urgent. I nodded, trying to look understanding. I guess I didn't do too good a job. "She ordered me to leave you," he said. His dark eyes were peering into mine. "She said she would kill you if I didn't." I was losing my temper. I bit the inside of my cheek real hard to make myself focus. "So, without explanation or discussion with me, you decided what was best for me and for you." "I had to," he said.